Hi Rasavatta, thanks for uploading your game to Go Academy. My name is Leo, I'm 2Q on KGS and I will have a look at your game. Alright, let's start. So you played as Black, you are 8Q and you played against EG who is 6Q. Hence you got 2 handicap stones. Alright, let's have a look at the handicap game. This is nice. I would actually try to keep this video short, at least shorter than some of my other reviews. I don't think that anybody is really interested in having a look at a 30 minutes or more review, so I try to stick to 10 to 15 minutes. Let's see if this actually works out. Yes, that's fine, keep things simple if you're playing a handicap black as a game as Black. And white tries to make things complicated, that's fine. Yeah, okay, pincer. Actually, I'm not sure about that pincer. Because if white just plays here, he makes a base for these 2 stones, and this stone gets a little bit under pressure and acts as a counter pincer. So this is kind of a double purpose move, which is actually normally nice to play. Hence, maybe I would also have just answered the easy way, and then it will be hard for white to actually build something big on the right side because he has both of his stones on the 3rd line already, so it's quite hard to build a big territory, and you will probably get some nice territory in these corners. So that looks even easier for me, but this is, I'm pretty sure this is possible. This is Joseki, fine. This is okay, playable. This one I don't like. So you see all these black stones. To me, this looks a bit over-concentrated. So I think you just spent too many moves locally to make too little territory. So look at this, you will make, I don't know, 5 points or something here and spend quite some moves. So actually I prefer playing here, which is now from your side a nice double purpose move, because on the one hand side you make some territory here, remove some of the RJ of this stone, makes it harder for your opponent to do something with this stone, and you put quite some pressure on this white stone, right? So this is at the same time a pincer and an extension for this formation, so I really do like this move. But this is not what you played. You played this one, and then white took this one. Now you played it. Yes, I really do like. Maybe this is a bit easier even. But this is for sure possible. And white just takes the corner. This is very nice. I think this is... this looks a bit more normal because it actually really blocks your opponent. So if you place here, you can just directly cut. And if you do something like this, which is definitely possible, you get a nice wall and a lot of center influence, which is also nice, especially together with this stone that you already have on the lower left side. So I think attaching is a little bit, or feels at least to me a little bit more normal and more straightforward. This has the issue of this position, right? So whenever you play this shape, then there's a weakness, and the weakness is exactly this point here in the very middle. Your opponent can just play there and split your stones anytime. And actually we don't like this because we don't know exactly how to continue. If you play something like this, then he perfectly splits your 2 groups, and still there's no way of surrounding your opponent, so we don't like that situation. And if you do this, then yeah, he can just reduce the territory here and force you to make this only a 3rd line territory, and still there's no way to really surround white. So this is why I do not really like this shape, but prefer this move. Okay, he plays here. I would probably just have played this one. This makes it again complicated. And now you attach from the top. Okay. and force your opponent to take this small territory here and get all the influence towards the center. This is nice. This is very possible. Double Hane. Double Hane. Is that a nice move? So it probably leads to something like this. What happens if he just connects? Is there a way to do something with this stone? I don't think so. So as we can see, this is the actual game. I think this double honey just doesn't work, right? Yeah, then we just shouldn't play it. You could just connect and threaten to later cut here at A if white doesn't respond, or let him connect, something like that, and have this nice influence, and then play a big move like this one, or maybe this one, or something like this. So this is all very possible to me. This double honey doesn't really help. So it's not horrible, it's still center for you, but you just lost this stone, which is not necessary. And then you played here, okay. I think these other moves that I showed are a little bit more in line with what you played so far. So you created this center influence, now we want to use it. And the way to use it is to somehow at least threaten to make a lot of territory. If you play something like this, you threaten to turn all this into territory. Or if you play here, then your opponent at the same time has to think about how to prevent you from making this territory, but also making lots of points here, or at least in the corner. So this really is relatively hard for your opponent to deal with this. There's no direct connection. So of course there's always a connection between everything on the board, but no immediate connection to this nice center influence. So I'm not 100% sure about this move. Oh yeah, and your opponent just ignores it and plays here to basically prevent you from playing something like this. So I do like white's move here actually. Okay, this is very possible. He makes a base, and now it's time to come back here and put some pressure on this stone, because your opponent decided not to react to your Kona approach, and now it's time to make use of that, right? Okay, this is normal. I think the normal continuation now is to play here, and then if white now or later blocks either side, then you can just do something like this and make some points here and still keep up the pressure on white. This looks unusual to me, because white at any point in time can play here and put pressure on the stone, so you almost have to react, for example like this, and then he can easily I don't know what the best move is actually, sorry for that, make quite some points in the corner and easily get the corner. So this looks a bit too easy to me. If you want to continue on the upper side, then I definitely prefer to play something solid as this one. Just directly make a base. You do not have to take care of these stones. They're pretty safe, and you can, as soon as your opponent continues to play elsewhere, you can start attacking these two weak stones. Okay, you played here, let's continue. Okay. We don't like that, right? So this shoulder hit kind of forces you to push from behind. Your opponent makes nice center influence, which to some degree erases the influence that you already created, so it will be way harder to make territory in the center after your opponent played here and got this nice center influence. And still there's a lot of pressure on these stones, and you do not make lots of points here. So we do not really like that. Well, actually he could just continue. I don't think you can play elsewhere now, because yeah, there's so much pressure on these 3 stones. So I think white could have just continued here, but he played this move which I mentioned earlier. And now actually these 2 stones look pretty weak, so you have to continue here. Strange shape, to be honest, because there's no clear connection neither to this group, to this A group, nor to this B group, right? So white can just cut here. Something like this is very possible. And he can still play here and threaten to cut this stone from this group. So you can do something like this, but this might lead to something complicated. So something like this. Not sure if this is a proper sequence. But yeah, I don't really like this move because there's no clear connection. If you play here, yes, there is a clear connection, no way to cut these 2 stones. Or if you play here, maybe here, even though this is also not the best shape, there's a clear connection to this group, but this is somehow in the middle, and sometimes trying to do multiple things at the same time leads to not doing any of them in a proper way. Yes, and white decides to cut, or at least almost cut. Actually, I don't like it that much, because if you play here, then this is just connected, right? So this white cut doesn't really work. I do prefer this move, which at least clearly cuts, even though it might be a bit early to do it now, but I think that's better. Okay, you ignore. Okay, I think I would have just directly answered like this, because this is just great. You connect your groups. This is almost connected now that this group is a little bit stronger, and you separated this stone. And if you capture this one, like this, again, you make a big territory here. So that would have been my continuation. You play here. Whoa, why doesn't he just respond? This looks so obvious. I don't get it. He played honey. I think yes. I think he should just continue and cut. This is very nice. So this is kind of connected to this one, to this stone, and it really puts a lot of pressure on this A group. So this is very nice. Yes. Now white has to take care of the 2 stones. You could think about a wedge, because this wedge actually threatens to capture the stones with another move at A. So white cannot play here like this. His stones are just captured. He kind of has to play here. If he really wants to save these stones, he has to do something like either this. This creates an empty triangle, looks pretty bad. Or this, which again is just horrible shape. So this creates this very inefficient shape here. Yeah, I think I do like the wedge. You played here, and this just invites your opponent to connect like this, right? So I would even call this a real mistake, because it doesn't do anything. He plays here and now actually threatens to cut off your stone with playing at A. So you have to decide whether you play here. This is pretty slow, or just give this one up, but then it just did not make any sense to play there. All right, let's continue. Yes, here's the move that I wanted to see. And white not even tries to connect. Okay. Yeah, maybe he should have continued here, because later, if he plays somewhere else, this is quite painful, right? It not only totally blocks the upper side, but also later creates some annoying follow-ups, like wedging at A. But that's not what he played. He jumped here. this is the perfect time, I think, to very intensively attack these two stones, because if you find a way to capture them like this, so let's assume you capture these two stones with something like this, then this is so much territory actually. This would be something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 25, 27, yeah, something like 30 points. So this is huge. Your opponent really has to to try everything to escape with these two stones, and while he tries to escape, maybe he finds a way to escape, even though it is very hard because of all your friends here, this very strong formation here, and some more friends here, and if you play a move here, it puts pressure on the escaping group as well as on the group on the lower side. So you will definitely profit from your opponents trying to escape. But again, that's not what you played. Oh, that's fine. Sorry, that's a nice move, because it looks like you attack this A group down here, these two stones, which you actually do. But at the same time, you make this wall even stronger and attack these two stones even on the larger scale. So maybe your move is even better than the one that I suggested. I really do like it. White plays for the two stones on the bottom side, and yes, now you do the exactly right thing. You continue to put pressure on these three stones and build your wall against these two stones. So this is very nice. This game should be very nice for black from this moment on. Now he reinforces these two stones. Okay. You keep building the net. So if you see these three stones as the fish that you want to hunt, then this is your net to actually catch them. And normally reinforcing the net is a very good idea. As long as the net is very strong, this group is very weak. The thing is that they already do have quite some space here, right? So if you place another move like this, or maybe like this, or maybe something more active like, I don't know, this, is that possible? Will you play from this side? Not 100% sure. So there might be some senti moves, and oh, what was that? And actually, it looks quite possible for your opponent to make a living group here, right in the center of all your center influence, which would be a horrible result. So I very much did like these moves here on the lower side, because they attack this group at the same time and reinforce your net. I'm not that sure about this stone, because it actually only strengthens this group, but do not really put pressure, or at least not that much pressure on this group, because still white can play here to make eye space on the left side. Let's see how this continues. Okay. Actually, from a strategical point of view, this is not great, because yes, white defends this group, but at the same time kind of forces you to put more pressure on this group, which is normally not the best way to defend a group. So I think I would rather, if I want to defend this one, rather try to build something here on the left side with a move like this. But this is not what happened. Okay, now he does it. All right. And you continue to play here. Yeah. I really tend to continue here, because this is so big. So if you are able to kill these three stones, you will get so many points that the game is almost won. But I'm not sure if this is I wouldn't call this a bad move, because it puts quite some pressure on this one stone here, and at the same time on this whole group, because at the moment it has no eyes, and it helps to severely attack these 3 stones, right? So it's definitely not a bad move. Let's just see how this continues. Okay, white plays for this left side. Now you're strong here, so now you should probably attack this group. Yes, very nice. Now he attaches to get some free moves and make 2 eyes here. Let's see if this works out. Okay. I like this move. It just reduces the eye space for white. And now the question is it the time to play to put a stone inside? Normally, when you try to capture a group, and this is definitely a situation where you want to kill these stones, or at least very hardly try to kill them, normally you should play from the outside and just reduce eye space and make sure that it is impossible for your opponent to build 2 eyes. The almost only reason to put a stone inside of your opponent's territory is if this is the only way to kill your opponent's group. So if you are sure that with this move you're able to kill, it's a perfect move. If you're not sure, if you haven't read all the variations, then it's just a lost opportunity, because you could have also just played here, right? So this is the monkey jump from this O2 position. It is impossible to disconnect, or you could have played here, which does the same thing. It is connected to this O2 stone, and again reduces white's eye space. So if white plays something like this, then there's really not much space left. And at this point, I would in fact think about putting a stone inside and playing here, because it looks to me like this is almost the only chance for your opponent to make 2 eyes. But you played inside immediately, and your opponent just played here to maximize his eye space. That's again a normal strategy to live. And you played from the outside, so it seems you are pretty sure that your opponent can't make 2 eyes inside. Does that work? If black goes here, yeah, then white will be able to capture this stone, so this doesn't work. You have to play something like this, right? Yeah. And now white can try to escape here, so this threatens to cut at A, so you have to play something like one of these. Yeah, you take this one, and white continues threatening to escape. You have to cut here, and how to respond to this one? Can you play honey? Can you play here first? Or just answer like this? Well, let's just see what you played. Oh, you connected, and white escaped. Yeah, like this. Is it possible for white to escape like this? That seems to be the case. Now you block here, and what happened? So here white threatened to connect underneath, so you had to cut like this. Why not this one? Doesn't it work? Is there anything I can't see? Is this a thing? Yes, it is. Okay. This doesn't work, does it? No, one can just cut, right? This just doesn't work. That's sad. If you connect here, then white is forced to connect like this, and this does not really help, right? No, I think white is just connected. Sad. Or is there anything you can do? Nope, that doesn't work. Ah, sad, sad, sad. What if you play from this side? We can just capture. Now this seems to be Sente. I'm aware that white can connect here anytime, but actually that doesn't make a real difference because this group looks very alive, and this also has quite some opportunities to make eyes. And if you find a way to capture these, then at least you get some compensation. The question if this is the case, if you play here, no. Ah, this one just works. This one just works. But still white is alive, so even though this is kind of a co-situation, it will be relatively easy for white to threaten to create other eyes here. So either can make 2 eyes here or just win the co with all these local co threats. I don't see a great continuation. So this was a mistake, and white just captures, and okay, now you attack this thing again. Yes, this is Sente, forcing, kind of forcing. Yeah, and white is just alive, right? So no way to prevent white from making these 2 eyes. Which finally means that putting this stone inside wasn't a great idea at that point in time. And even white connects here. So did you really have to do all these exchanges? The question is, if white lives anyway with this group and with this group, is it really a really bad thing for us if he plays here and gets this double Atari? Or is this just better because you capture these 3 stones, make some profit here, and this might later help to kill these 3 stones if this is super safe here. And yes, white will be able to play here, but the question is if this really a big issue, because as said, this group was alive already, and so was this one, and these are not yet completely connected, and you did not expect a lot of points here. So maybe this would have been an option, but you just defended, you connected there, and now you finally attack this group again with a very or quite passive move. So this strengthens your wall here, which is nice, but as mentioned before, there's a lot of space left here, so I think I do prefer a move like this, which directly prevents white from making two eyes here. Yes, and he plays here now. He has even more space, and again, this is quite passive. This is a bit more active. Or you could even play something like this and directly prevent white from making any eyes up here, right? Now he goes there, and this looks almost alive, to be honest. Yeah, I think it will be really either really hard or maybe even impossible to kill this, because this is so strong. Yeah, sad. Now he takes more territory, so this already looks a bit like endgame, even though it's not really endgame. Yeah, I think it's a good decision. It's not that big if white just takes this stone. For example, this looks way bigger than this one, at least to me. I don't really see why you need this stone. So this group is alive, those are almost connected. Actually, I think they are connected. And this group is also pretty strong, because this at any point in time can connect to this super strong group here. So no reason to play this one and make almost no points there. This one is also very slow. Again, I think this is way bigger, or this. And you play here, but this is just a forcing move. This doesn't help because, yeah, he has two eyes. He just has two eyes. Okay, this is a bit strange. He really wants to have these eyes. Okay, this is forcing. And you take this one. This is a big one. And white blocks here to make sure that he gets two eyes there. Yeah. If you directly attack and prevent white from making an eye here, then he can just jump here and live here. So after playing here, white has to defend there. Okay, yes, this is very big, this is nice, good. He takes the corner, and this is small. Yes, you make something like 5 points here, or maybe 6, and maybe get 2 additional points here. But it is goatee, and I think a move like this, threatening to jump here, is way bigger. It's just way bigger and almost senti in the end game. Or this one. Actually, in the end game, most of the big moves can be found on the either second or even first line. Very rarely you find the big endgame points in the center, because typically you can just make some additional points. Actually, white can still play here, so you don't really make more than 2 or 3 or 4 points with capturing the stone. So this is not big at all. Okay, he connects, thanks white, and now you take a big one, very nice. He defends. This is not as big as this one, I think. Actually, this even could ask some life and death questions. Not sure, but it puts some pressure on your opponent's group. This is small. This is bigger. No, you should not answer here. No reason to do this. It's consistent, but doesn't make it better. Yes, this is the big move. You got it. Very nice. White defense. You also got this big move. Very nice. Actually, I think you can just continue here, because white cannot play elsewhere, right? Because this is... does it work? It should. Oh. Yeah, it just worked. This is horrible for white. So you can play another move here, because white has to defend and down, continue somewhere else. But that's a minor thing. Yeah, why not? Okay, okay. Yeah, you try to connect. All right. And maybe there's some more minor details in the end game, but I guess there will be no more big changes, will there? No, and I think again I did not make it in time, so let's just go to the very end. Alright, so what's the result? Where is it? Where is it? Game info. White wins by 15.5. Yes. Is this counted correctly? Not sure. Maybe it was even a bit closer because there's additional 5 points for black, but still white wins by 10 points. So why did that happen? Actually, I think because of the fact that even though you got all the or most of the big points in the end game, which reduced your opponent's margin in the very end, it was just too much to create all this very nice influence towards the center. So you built all, where is it? All this, and then your opponent invaded, and then you reinforced the wall here, this group, and this group, and then later even this group, but we're not able to neither kill these 3 stones, nor this white group here, nor these 3 stones. So I think from a strategical point of view, what you did was very nice, because you played these splitting attacks, where you played the stone to attack 2 groups at the same time, this one here and this one, and before you played something to attack this and this at the same time, and then you did it again here to attack these stones and these stones at the same time, but you missed to kill any of these groups, and this is why finally you were not able to build anything big, and just were not able to get enough territory. And the reasons from my perspective are that this putting the stone inside was too early. I think this move is way more severe. What else? Where was another fight? Yes. This one was way too passive. I think at this point we definitely need to attack in a more active way with something like this. Because yes, there is one eye, but where's the second eye? Your opponent can play here, but it will be quite hard for him to build the second eye. So he has to work really hard to make another eye. And this also was very passive. And then was there anything else? There was something on the left side, I remember. Yes. So yes, at this point I already want to attack this these 3 stones a bit harder, or make use of the fact that this A group here also has no eyes at all, right? So you could also have thought about attacking from this side or from this side to make some strength here, and then play a move like A, which prevents white from making any eyes here on the left side. And then you would have a really hard time saving this group, right? Okay, so to summarize, I think it was a nice game. and you made many good strategical choices. You found ways to attack several groups at the same time, which is very nice. But unfortunately, you missed the chance to kill any of them, and finally were not able to create enough points yourself to win the game. All right, thanks a lot. Hope you will continue to upload your games to Go Academy. If I find the time, I will have a look at more games of yours. I wish you good luck for your next game. See you.